Okay.
is the Superman pose.
Tony Robbins talk about this.
Superman pose. Put your hands here. You put your feet steady in the ground, and you've got your Superman. Like, I know who I am.
Hello, Enrich Community. This is your virtual bestie, Simran and Adelie. Welcome to the Enrich Podcast, a show where we explore topics that inspire personal and professional growth. We have Maria back on the podcast. Welcome back, Maria.
Nice to be back. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Of course, love having you here. So today, Maria and I, we're going to be talking all about self-confidence and how we can boost our self-esteem. So I think the right question to start off this episode about all about self-confidence is, how do you define self-confidence and self-esteem, and are they interconnected?
Okay, so I personally would define confidence as having faith in your abilities, in knowing what you can accomplish.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you have something on your mind, and having a healthy knowing and belief system that you can be successful.
Mm-hmm.
Self-esteem, I would say it's more about the value that you place on yourself, your self-worth. It's about liking yourself and not needing external validation, you know, that you like yourself enough that you're not seeking it. But my favorite definition of both of them combined is one by Maya Angelou. I don't know if you've heard of her, but her definition of success is liking yourself, liking what you do, and liking how you do it.
I love that. Yeah. And I know you mentioned that self-esteem is not external, right? Mm-hmm. Is that correct? So, but would you say it is influenced by various other factors like achievements or relationships or personal, how you view the societal standards and that internal self-perception? Is that, would you say, interconnected or not?
So self-esteem, if you're, well, okay, so I'm going to just sort of change the way you ask the question, the way I'm going to answer it is like, when I'm working with people who come to counseling for self-esteem and self-confidence, what I work with my clients is to be able to go from a place where you're looking for external validation, because you can't control what other people say or think about you. You can't control anything except for your inner self. You have your inner locus of control. Mm-hmm. So I work on being able to build yourself up to your sense of self to a point where you have a healthy sense of self, and that you have a healthy acceptance of everything that you are, all the parts of you, and that you can find internal validation for where you're at, what you can do, your capabilities, but to have a healthy self-esteem, healthy self-confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Does that answer that question?
110%. So you would say self-confidence equals self-acceptance then?
Well, self-confidence would be like, I know that I'm good at this. Like, I know what I'm going into my work, and I know that I'm good at what I do, and I'm good at, whatever it is that I'm good at. I can walk in with the confidence, and I have the boldness to be able to walk into a space with, myself in the, like, knowing who I am, what I can do, what I can offer. Self-esteem is liking myself, is liking what I do, is being, bringing in the confidence and liking myself and how I present myself and what it is. And I'm not going to, like, if I like my outfit that I'm wearing, it's nice and bold, and you don't, it's just like, oh, well, I'm sorry you don't like it, but I love it. Yes. I feel confident in it. I like myself in it. I like walking in it. It makes me feel good, but not in the point where it's unhealthy, because it doesn't really matter what anybody else thinks, but that I feel good, that I'm not waiting for you to give me the okay to wear this outfit.
I love that. I love the explanation. So I think we could also discuss about the connection between self-confidence and self-talk, and how can we cultivate self-talk that fosters a strong sense of self-worth and self-confidence.
Okay, so your self-talk, we had done another episode on self-talk. Well, like we were saying, how there is our critic, and then there's the bully, and then there's a cheerleader. So if you're working on your self-confidence, your self-worth, you want to tap into your cheerleader, into your inner coach.
Yes.
Right? And then have a healthy cheerleader and coach. So, to be able to see what you need to grow, on what, if there's anything faults or anything that you see that you need growth, and then you can find, the growth. But to have that cheerleader to say, what you're good at, talk to yourself in the third person, the way a coach would. You just like I would say, Maria, you've got this. You go in there. You've got this. You would see this with athletes, right?
Mhm.
Where they talk to themselves and they work themselves. Even the coach is telling you, got this. You guys can do this. We got this win. We're going to go for this. Talking to yourself, that will build your self-esteem, will build your self-confidence, and
Mhm.
getting to yourself, and build that ability to be able to go and do what you want to do. Talking to yourself in the mirror is really important too, because we
Mhm.
get those mirror neurons and the neural pathways building in your brain to build that boldness. I've got this.
Yeah.
And talk to yourself so you can get bold enough. I love the word bold when it comes
Yes.
to confidence. You can see I use it over and over again. Enough to go after what your dreams are, and not really putting a lot of emphasis on what other people are going to say,
Mhm.
because you don't want to minimize your life experience because other people aren't willing to grow theirs. Does that
Mhm.
make sense?
Yes, it
Okay.
totally makes sense. And you touched on the word bold, and I love that you're wearing a very bold color yourself, and I absolutely love it. You're like gleaming of self-confidence, so I love that. And I know you mentioned about the way you talk to yourself. I can totally relate to that. Recently, for example, if I was dealing with low confidence, I just looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, you got this, you can do it. So that really boosts your inner, not just inner confidence, the way you're just looking at yourself in the mirror.
And the way you
that just
project
changes.
yourself, right,
Yeah.
to the world, right?
Yeah.
If you're walking around going, oh my God, is that person going to like me? Is this person going to like me? Well, you know what? People are not going to like you. People are going to love you. You're just going to have to be who you are, and you will find your people, and your
Yes.
people will find you.
Yeah.
This was another thing. Again, I always refer back to working in the school system, because the majority of my life I've worked with children.
Yes.
And talking and telling the kids, when they would fight, I go like, so-and-so doesn't have to like you, and you don't have to like them. Doesn't mean you have the right to be mean.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big thing.
Yes.
But they don't have to like you, and you don't have to like them.
I love that.
Right?
Pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. And once you start accepting that,
Yeah.
your life is so much freer,
Mhm.
because you're not going around waiting to be validated that you exist or what you like is okay. I get that sometimes from, people who, say, oh God, what are you wearing? Because I have I love bold clothes.
Yes.
I have a friend who's going to tell you a funny story.
Yes.
I was shopping.
Yeah.
And I usually have really curly big hair,
Yeah.
and I love animal print and bold clothes, and my clothes are loud. I'm a little loud, and I was trying on this beautiful floor-length leopard print coat, big fur coat, and we were in Nordstrom's in Seattle, and my friend goes, "Take that off right now." But you know what? She said it because she's funny, but it's
Yeah.
not her style.
Mhm.
This is my style,
Yeah.
and that's okay. Nobody
You
has to
feel good
like
when you
what I'm
wear it.
wearing.
Yeah.
I have to like what I'm wearing. So
Yes.
that's what I'm talking about. That's healthy self-esteem, is
Yes.
going to my friend, I love you for who you are. I love what you wear,
Yeah.
but this is who I am, and this is what I'm going to wear.
Yeah.
And if you love me, then that's great. If you
Yeah.
like me, we're friends, and that's right.
Yeah.
If you don't, then I can't help you, because
Yeah.
this is who I am.
Yeah.
I can't control what you think and what you like.
100%. And
Yeah.
I think that's where self-acceptance comes in.
Yeah,
You accept
absolutely.
yourself.
Accept
and,
yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I have the confidence to wear it, because I'm accepting who I am.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that. Great example. My next question for you is, what advice would you give someone who struggles with comparison or imposter syndrome? And it basically, imposter syndrome sometimes hinders the ability to feel good, right? And
Well, most people who are starting out anything new
Mhm.
tend to feel imposter syndrome, because they're
Yes.
just learning how to do it.
Yeah.
Right? This is new. This is new in their life. They haven't done this before.
Mhm.
Right? So say someone who's starting their own business,
Mhm.
and I'm working with them, say, in a coaching sense now, right? And I would try to get people to move from a place of fear, writing down, getting to know all your fears, challenging your fears, to be able to get into a space of faith in your abilities,
Yeah.
faith in what you do know to bring to the table, faith in your own unique personality that you're ready to offer and what you can offer, because someone would say, but everybody's doing that. Well, but not everybody is you.
Exactly.
So maybe so and so is doing that, so and so is doing that, so and so is doing that. We would never had Burger King if they thought McDonald's had was making the only ones that can make burgers. Find your own unique style and be able to work on that. And then I love the fake it till you make it. It's true.
Sometimes
because that's how you start to build the neural pathways in your brain and the self-confidence that I can do this, right? And start really focusing on what you can do rather what you can't do.
Yeah. And also building confidence is a gradual process too, right? Because it requires a lot of patience and self-compassion with yourself too. And it all comes down to self-acceptance. I'm glad that you use that word, because now as I'm talking to you and I'm thinking out loud, it is all coming down the way you accept yourself.
So I know earlier we talked about imposter syndrome, right? So I have a question to ask you. Let's say you are in a leadership role and people are criticizing you, judging you all the time. What would you do in this situation where it might start affecting your self-confidence? So maybe something that you would do where a person might be in a similar position right now.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah. So I'm going to give a little bit of a personal story here. When my kids were in elementary school, I was president of the PAC, the PAC committee.
I love that.
And I'd be taking the kids to school before I was going in to do whatever it is that I had to do in the school. And in the lineup, as the kids were going in, you would hear people complaining, telling me everything that was wrong, telling me everything that needed to be done, telling me everything, that, the school should do this should be done, the PAC should do this. And, I got to the point, I used to start thinking, am I not doing a good job? Am I not a good leader? Am I not able to provide what needs to be provided, in this role? And I started to question myself. And then I sat back and I said, you know what? No, I'm in here working hard for the school. I'm doing everything that I know that I'm doing, but I don't see any of these people here. They don't even come to the PAC meetings. They're just sitting outside complaining. So then I turned around the story and I thought, okay, when they said it, I said, thank you for your input. It would be really valuable if you showed up to the meetings and you shared that, and maybe you could take on a committee that would do that. Because that's a great point.
That
and
is
so
a great
sort of
example.
and then later on, I love Brene Brown, who said, if you're not in the ring, I'm not going to listen to what you have to say.
Yeah.
People have to be in the ring with you, because people are going to say something good or bad about you no matter what. You can't wait or even rely or even, put any kind of weight on what people are going to say, unless they're in the ring with you.
Yeah,
that's really important when you're in especially a leadership role or anything to help you with your confidence and self-esteem, right? If people are not having your life experience and they're judging something and they're not, experiencing the same thing, well, you don't have to listen to what they have to say.
Yeah. I mean, they haven't lived 1 second of your life, right?
Yeah.
And they don't know how it is. So.
And people will sit in there and natter, and they'll talk. Once you said, okay, come and help out, they'll back away because they don't have the confidence. People with low self-confidence will complain and gossip and chatter behind behind your back.
Yep, 100% agreed. That's a great point. I think my other question for you is, can you share some practical techniques or practices that our listeners can use to boost their self-confidence in their daily lives? And how do these strategies really contribute to long-term personal growth in their life?
So, it's all about techniques on empowering your self-talk. We had used the mirror in one of our episodes where, you talk to yourself in the mirror and you find situations so you could start talking to yourself in a positive way and being your cheerleader. Find a situation when you felt proud of yourself. Right. Okay. And, remind yourself, you say, your name, this is what you would do. This is what, you've done. This is what you've accomplished, just sort of build yourself up, getting to, reminding yourself, because we remind ourselves of everything we've done wrong and other people will remind us of everything. But how often do we remind ourselves and have others remind yourself that, everything you've done right? Discover and embrace one thing that you do exceptionally well, right? And just do it. So you can just remind yourself, oh yeah, I'm really good at making, pasta bolognese, right? And just remind yourself, this is really what I'm good at. Surround yourself with people who aren't going to give you fake feedback that's positive, but are going to give you effective feedback that's positive.
I love that. Okay.
Yeah, because you know, in a lot of leaders in work situations are giving feedback. That's their job, right? A manager or your boss, or some sort of supervisor, and they'll tell you everything you've done wrong. But how effective is it to tell someone everything they're doing wrong, right? It's more effective to say, like, this is where your strengths are, these are your weaknesses, and then, you know, let's work on your strengths, and, you know, let's work on your weaknesses. Let's build your strengths higher, and let's take whatever we can, because it's better to tell someone, you know, maybe give them advice on how they can grow rather than, you know, just telling them everything they're doing wrong. Because what happens then, creativity is killed.
Yeah.
Right? When you're feeling so low, when you're bashing someone, telling everything they're wrong, their creativity just gets diminished. They can't grow as a human being.
Yeah. And their focus is just on their weaknesses, right?
Yeah.
And you're so right about just focusing on your strengths more, because you know you're good at this, right? For instance, you could be good at photography or videography, but if you're focused on something else that you're not good at, of course it's gonna diminish your confidence, right? Of course you can grow. Yeah. Everything can be learned, right?
Absolutely.
That growth mindset
absolutely
comes in, but I do agree with you. When I do things that I'm really good at consistently, I feel really good.
Yeah. You know, another really great skill is to empower yourself. Is find something you're really good at and somebody who wants to learn how to do it and teach them how to do it.
Yeah.
Because then that there strengthens your self-esteem, right? Strengthens your confidence, strengthens your neural pathways, right? And you're also helping another person, so you're actually strengthening the feel-good hormones inside of you too. Remember that dose that we did a long time ago, right?
Yeah.
You know, So, you know, it'll just make you feel so much better. I have a couple of other techniques that's really, really cool. That are like instant confidence boosters. Yes. And this has to do with a lot of physiology, because your physiology speaks to your psychology, right?
Got it.
So if we're always on our phones, think of, like, when you're sad, show me your body posture when you're sad. Yeah. Show me what you look like when you're on your phone.
Oh, got it.
Yeah,
so
just like I'm looking. See, a lot of people are suffering a lot, but you know, we don't realize that we're telling our body we're unhappy all the time. So a good thing is to just take a seat, stack your shoulders back, take a deep breath, and do that a few times. Just having your shoulders back right there, it just brings that. What do you think in the, you know, you see all these older movies, they put your shoulders back, put your shoulder back. I have some parents that say that, because it really brings in that confidence. Like, look who I am. Look, I feel good about who I am. Another thing I used to teach the kids, and I actually get a lot of my clients even now, is before they're going into a situation where they need, you know, where they know that they're in a place of criticism and judgment, and, you know, they're not confident, but they need to build their confidence, just to get the whole confidence boosting inside their brain. You would stand up in somewhere where no one can see you, or you could do it wherever, but stand up somewhere and put your hands up, like, you know, and just sort of like a winning pose. And they just, like, you know, when people win, they're like, oh, win. They've done a study on children who were actually born blind, and when they did win anything, they actually shot their hands up too. It wasn't something that was learned. It's something that's innate in us. That when something is great, like, think of any time you're watching the Canucks play and they do score, whenever that happens, and you're like, whoa, right? Or anything, you just put your hands up, right? Yeah. When something, you put your hands up. So if you do that, you just start telling your body, wow, this is really great. Yeah. Another empowering move, and they teach this to a lot of people who are high level in companies, is the Superman pose.
Tony Robbins talk about this.
Superman pose. Put your hands here, you put your feet steady in the ground, and you've got your Superman, like, I know who I am. I've got my strength. You see this. You see this with, you know, big bodybuilders. They walk in like this, and so they have that. So, you know, those right there are 3 instant changing your psychology.
Yeah. Those are some great tips. I'm definitely applying all of those when I'm feeling like I need that boost of confidence. So we're at the end of the episode. Anything else that you would like to share with our listeners? Anything regarding to do with the topic today, all about self-confidence and self-esteem? Maybe something that we missed?
I think we covered a lot of really great things. The one thing that I'm going to say is, if you're feeling like you have, and I always go back to this, low self-esteem, low confidence, or any you need any kind of growth in any aspect of your life, therapy, any psychotherapy or coaching, seeing someone who is trained and has different skills they offer you that you find rapport with, reach out, find someone and go with them, and invest in yourself because you're worth it.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
You are worth
that's
it.
one thing, you're worth it. You're worth to invest in yourself to be able to grow. Therapy and coaching can be something beyond when you go for just, when you're suffering, when you're going through hard times, you could go there to grow even from there.
Yeah. And you know what they say, the best investment that you can make is investing in yourself.
Absolutely.
So definitely do that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming in today. It was so much fun and so much information on this episode. And I'm definitely taking away all these tips and using them. And I'm sure our listeners will do the same. So
well, thank you for having me. I always have so much fun when I'm here with you.
Me too. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks.
Awesome. We're now at the end of the episode. I hope you guys had so much fun listening and tuning in to this episode on all about self-confidence and self-esteem. And we will make sure Maria's back because she loves talking all about personal development and she's super passionate about it as well. So something I would like to mention, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, leave questions below, leave comments for us, and we'll make sure we try our best to get back to you. And I'm going to leave you guys with this, like I always do, sending you a lot of love and positive vibes. Take care. See you very soon.